Good morning and welcome to this morning's broadcast about 7 aspects of safe people. I'm Linda and I'm a trauma recovery coach. Welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this morning's chit chat. Any questions or comments, feel free to add them in down below. Okay, let's just grab up our list here. Well, last week we did aspects of emotionally unsafe people, or actually unsafe people, what they're like. So I thought I'd add in today 7 aspects of emotionally safe people, because not only do we need to know them, we need to be them as well, especially when we've come through trauma. Remember, we're reparenting ourselves, so there are lots of things that we learn along the way, and one of them is especially how to be an emotionally safe person and how to recognise an emotionally safe person. That saves us more grief and upset along the way. Also, as parents, we need to raise emotionally safe children so they become emotionally safe adults. So, number 1, you can hear somebody's feelings and just hold space for them. So that means that we don't want to run in and fix their problems. We don't have to have an answer. We feel comfortable that we don't have an answer, okay? We can sit there, and holding space means that we listen and we hear what they're saying. We hear what's underneath it that they're expressing to us at that time, okay? And we just can be very gentle, very soft around them. And yes, that's boys too, because everyone can feel what you're projecting, okay? So we just want to hold that space for them while they express themselves, all right? We don't need to jump in. Number 2, you can hear feedback about something you did that hurt or upset someone without getting defensive. And look, we've all done it and we all do it, and my worst time to do this is when I am tired. Now, I mean, the simplest example the other day was I got home. I'd driven 4 hours round trip. I was exhausted and I just grumbled about the bin, and my son said to me, "We could have asked me to do it." And, you know, my first reaction without thinking was, "I shouldn't have to ask you to do it." And that's just so not true. But because I've raised my kids that if I'm like that, their first question to me is, "Mum, are you tired?" And I say yes, and they go, "Right, go to bed, go lie down, have a rest." We've worked out that system of communication because it's the one time that I get cranky. It's when I'm tired, that's it. I have no filter. And so many years ago that they said to me, "Mum, are you upset at us?" Because it was late at night, I'd had a big day studying, etc. And I said, "No, I'm not cranky at you. I'm just tired," because I was tired and I had to go then try and think about how to cook dinner, okay? And so from that point on, we were able to have this open communication, and also, you know, me apologising for being so rude. All right. So we want to be able to have that feedback, but we also want to be able to give that feedback and identify what's happening for us, even if we get defensive, all right? The flow of communication means that we do develop the ability to be safe people. So we don't automatically overnight become a safe person. We keep self-reflecting and seeing the areas where we aren't a safe person and where other people aren't a safe person, and if we can communicate through that, all right? So you have good emotional boundaries, and these are very challenging to have. I had a relative who pushed those emotional boundaries, so they'd come into my home. One time they went and got a key to my house and moved themselves in. And at the time I was like, well, these are the house rules. You know, you have to get a job, etc., etc., etc. And, you know, no smoking funny stuff in my house, no abuse of alcohol, etc., etc. And that's just my rules in my home because I had children as well, okay? And we all lived by those values. But some people will continually believe that they can go against your house rules. They can not honour your emotional boundaries. All right. So in the end, after quite a number of times of this person coming and going, and then they'd follow the rules for a while and then ditch them, my kids actually started to catch them out on the lies, and I said, that's it, no more. So in our house and with my kids, being emotionally safe also means that we don't lie, okay? So you will have a value that you hold high amongst all the values. It'll probably be the one thing that you won't tolerate, and that for you is an emotionally safe person, and you are an emotionally safe person because you have that value as well. All right. So in our house, my kids were raised with, don't lie to me, or, if you tell me a lie, there's consequences. If you don't lie to me and the event happened at home, there are no consequences. Obviously, we sit down and work it through. If it happens outside of home and there are consequences I can't control, you have to suffer the consequences. But at home, because you told the truth about the event that happened, there are no consequences. And we would sit down and sort it out, what was really happening behind the event. And it worked. My kids are all adults now, and they will all come to me. And sometimes it's a bit too much information, but we all are honest with each other. So I essentially created a safe environment at home. Okay. Number 4, you won't retaliate. Sometimes people just go off, and, if you look at the HALT acronym, they could be hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Okay. And as I've said, tiredness really it's up there for me. But when somebody's upset or angry, we don't need to defend ourselves. We don't retaliate, okay? We don't need to go back. We recognise that the other person is having a hard time, and we're just going to hold that space for them. When they've calmed down, then there has to be communication that happens, all right? Otherwise, you can't have a safe relationship. Number 5, you stay engaged. So you don't have an argument or an upset and then run off and hide in the wardrobe and then expect everybody to come running after you. Or, same for the other person. The other person doesn't run off and hide in the wardrobe and then expect everyone to come running after them and take care of them and work out what's wrong, okay? We stay engaged in the process of communicating through what's happening. I actually did a video about communicating as well. So on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook, I'll put a link to that video about how to develop good communication techniques. Okay. Number 6, you're not scary. So people aren't afraid to talk to you. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit there with kindness in your heart and practice it. You're going to practice gentleness, softness, everything that's the opposite of being filled with fear, and also projecting dominating attitudes, okay? We want to build together, not apart, all right? Now, and you're also physically safe. So, if there's an argument, things don't get thrown around the room, things don't get broken. We want to create a physically safe environment, and we most definitely do not ever hit, okay? All right, any questions or comments, feel free to hit me up down below. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe for when the next video is out. And if any of those points hit home, sit down and journal them, work it out for you, work out a plan of action for you so that you can change into an emotionally safe person. Remember, we can't change anybody else, but we can grow and change within ourselves. And if you need extra help, see your therapist, take your journaling with you and get them to help you with what you need to do to grow and learn some more. Okay, bye for now.